was one of the greatest travesties of our childhood and our upbringing is our lack of financial literacy that we were taught.
Yeah.
I didn't go to private school, so I don't know what they learned, but public school, none of that.
But they will teach you some algebra 5.
They say life is 1090.
So let me ask you, what's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Do what you love and you never work another day in your life.
So when I was in college, my D-line coach, he came to practice one day and he was a little bit more dressed up than usual. He was like, "What's going on, coach?" And he hit me with the line like, "Dress for the job you want, not the one that you have."
Ooh.
And literally, yeah, that's a bar. I mean, you should carry yourself in that manner. But if you think about it, if you have goals and aspirations in life, you need to carry yourself in that manner as if you're already where you want to be.
Absolutely.
Don't let your circumstances dictate how you move and
Absolutely.
how you carry yourself.
Yes.
Carry yourself as if you already where you think you want to be,
Absolutely.
where you know you want to be.
Yeah.
So that resonated with me, just, always being mindful of how I present myself, how I carry myself, especially when I'm going after something.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then my mom also, even though she never really had a ton of financial success during her career, she did what she had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But right after I graduated college and I had an apartment and I got my first job, I'm looking to get a car. So I want to get a nice car. My mama hit me with the line like, "Don't park a nice car in front of someone else's house." It stuck with me because, and it really kind of changed my mentality about finances at a very pivotal time in my life because I just got out of college. I just started earning decent money at that time. And you're also at a point in your life where you kind of heavy in that comparison phase. Like you see your partner jump out the porch. He graduated the same year I did, and he got a nice car. So I need to, match that. And it kind of helped me.
Sometimes you don't see them. He got nice debt.
Right, exactly, right, exactly.
He just got
so
nice
it made
debt
me
on a depreciating asset.
It made me think like that though at a very early age. Right out of college, it made me think like, okay, I need to be putting my money towards something that has some appreciating value.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So
I sure do.
I jumped out. So within the next 18 months, I bought my first house.
Yeah.
And still to this day, as a 40-year-old man, I've never bought a brand new vehicle. I just don't see the value in it. So it really changed the way I value things.
Well, I would say from a business standpoint, something that I liked. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Grant Cardone, but he said what he does is every single day is he goes into his office and he checks his accounts to see how much cash flow he has. And based upon how much cash flow he has, he looks to take that cash flow and purchase an asset, something that can appreciate and generate more cash flow. Right. And I was like, that's the game. Because, we was raised, stack your chips, get your paper. Nobody really talked about taking your cash flow.
Right.
And turn it into an appreciating asset.
That was one of the greatest travesties of our childhood and our upbringing is our lack of financial literacy that we were taught.
Yeah.
I didn't go to private school, so I don't know what they learned, but public school, none of that.
But they will teach you some algebra 5.
Yeah, they will teach you how to, they will teach you how to get to the next grade, how to get to the next level of education if that's what you desire to do, and they will teach you how to go and be an employee. They won't teach you how to discover your own passions and figure out how to make a living from that. And they for damn sure don't teach you how to,
manage your moolah,
manage your money so it'll grow and teach you how to make your money work for you as opposed to always working for your money.
Absolutely.
So but those are two pieces of sound advice that kind of stuck with me. Even to this day, I can remember the day I heard those pieces. I remember exactly where I was when I heard it, and it still stuck with me all these years later. 20 years later, I still think like that. I still, time to time, reflect on that. What's the best book you've ever read?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad.
One of my favorite ones. I read that in the chain gang. I feel like that was a revolutionary book. And what I liked the most was how he compared the two dads, his rich dad and his poor dad. One invested more in education, right? Get more degrees, took out debt to get more education, which I'm not knocking that because that route has worked well for several people. And if that's your choice, that's your choice. But I was a convicted felon, and I knew that no matter how much education I had, I still had that felony on my record.
You still had that F on your report card.
So it didn't matter how many degrees. As TD Jakes said, I could have had more degrees than a thermometer. Somebody still was going to slam the door on me, right? So I need that alternative route. And his rich dad, he didn't, go into debt. He went into business for himself. He worked for himself. And I knew that once I learned a good skill and a good trade, that was 110%. That was going to be the route that I was going to have to take. I was going to have to figure out here. I was going to have to get out here and figure it out on my own because there was no way I was going to get an upper echelon corporate job with the charges that I had.
Right.
And so when I learned the skills, the sales skills job at Gold's Gym, I knew this is where I want to be. Like we just said, right? Nobody taught us about assets and liability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And his version, his definition made sense. An asset is anything you have that puts money back in your pocket. A liability is something that you have that takes money out of your pocket. So
yeah,
that definition made sense to me. At that time, I had no assets or liabilities. So it gave me some direction on how I need to, direction for my energy, for my hustle.
My favorite book that I've ever read was the autobiography of Malcolm X. And there was one part in that book, one part of his story that he was talking about how he used to put something in his hair to straighten it, to look more European, to look less black, to look less like his natural self.
Yeah.
And when he realized, when he was doing it, he was just doing it because that was the thing to do.
You do. Yeah, it was
that
cool.
was the thing to do.
That was young Malcolm.
But then when he realized the origin of why black people did that, he cut his hair off and he said he will never do anything like that to alter his appearance to try to be something that he's not.
Nah, absolutely. And that's powerful.
Yeah, for sure. Cause that one part of his story alone was enough to make me like, yo, it's dope being you, brother.
Yeah.
Don't change.
Absolutely.
You are, as you are enough.
Yeah, that's real. That's dope.
And I feel like that type of foundation kind of, will springboard you to success in any area because it's hard faking, bro. I don't know.
No, you can't fake it. Listen.
You can't fake for long.
One of the greatest
examples. You will be exposed. Earlier, I just said about, doing what you love for a living is success. But also having the courage to just be who you are in every aspect.
That's hard
That's
to do.
success too.
Of course it is. And
that's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk in so many rooms and be a chameleon almost. You got to almost like adapt to your surroundings to succeed in certain worlds.
Sometimes some people support you because of who they think you are. Not necessarily because of the experience or the product or service that you provide. You see what I'm saying? And then sometimes you will find yourself kind of catering to that.
100%.
And then it's unfortunate you can lose yourself.
You're going to get lost. You'll get lost in that.
You can get lost in the sauce and you'll be like, man, who the hell am I? What is this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you might snap up out of it.
Have you ever had speaking of that though, have you ever had a moment where you looked in the mirror and you was just like disappointed and ashamed at that person looking back at you?
Yeah, I've had that so many times.
Yeah.
What was the craziest moment though? I had that, but what was crazy to me is when I was going through a period in my life where when you look around, if you did a 360, there was success, there was beauty, there was favor, there was prosperity, there was that in every area of my life, it was just beautiful. But inside, I was on fire. I was being tormented. I didn't recognize myself or any of this shit. It blew my mind how I come from a double wide trailer in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now we're in $1.5 million house and I have zero peace.
That peace.
And it's not because of anybody else. It's that I'm going through an internal struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I loved, everything that I truly cared about, everything that I identified with, I felt like it wasn't fulfilling me no more. And it's something I gave everything to. I went hard, put a lot of energy in this just to get it and not be satisfied. And I totally understand it now. It's really because, man, of how I was raised. I can't speak for everybody else. I can just speak for myself. I was raised, my mama and my grandmama raised me, to seek out to God. Train up a child in the way he should go. When he's older, he will not depart from the ways, right? And, my life was good, but I wasn't really searching that relationship, seeking him. Like, I acknowledge him mentally, but I wasn't really searching. And therefore, I couldn't have peace. Everything that I thought I ever wanted, everything I thought I ever needed, everything I thought that would give me peace, it didn't. When you have all of that and you still have no peace, that is a strange feeling, And I realized too, from another sermon, remember I was telling you about the T.D. Jakes. For me, I was more focused on God's presence, gift, versus his presence. You follow what I'm saying?
Real talk. You mentioned T.D. Jakes a lot.
Man,
and it's a sidebar, but have you heard that little viral clip? Have you ever been swallowed?
I ain't listen to it.
Huh?
I ain't listen to it.
You haven't?
I don't want to listen to it.
You don't?
He ministered to my spirit. He was right. He was there for me when I was locked up. I got on these tapes. I don't want anything. And I've seen a lot of stuff come on my feet, and I just will not watch it. Hey, guy, I'm on him. So, real talk. After my brother passed, TDJ, I was so mad at God, bro. Listen. Well, my brother was in line to get his kidney. Mm-hmm. If he would have got his kidney, he would have got his life back. And I remember the day he passed, I saw the scripture. For my thoughts are higher than your thoughts, for your ways are higher than my ways. And so when I read that, I'm like, it's confirmation, my dog will get his life back. And he passed that same day. Like a week later would have been his appointment. You know what I mean? To get everything, like this follow-up appointment to make sure he was healthy enough. So my mom was cooking, making sure he had his medicine, make sure he was healthy enough. So if everything lined up, got approved, he can go get back right and we can get Ron T back. But when he passed, I was so blowed and I didn't understand why he would allow that to happen.
Hey.
But then I had to learn. And so boom, I was mad at God. I legit was bucking. I was like, you know what? I ain't praying. I used to see T.D. Jakes video. Now, normally if T.D. Jakes video come up, I'm going to watch it.
Right.
I was like, man, scroll past. I don't want to see nothing. Yeah, like legit beefing.
I've definitely been there. I've definitely been in places where I've actively just pushed past stuff that I knew I needed.
Like for real.
Just because you not even in this right frame of mind to receive what you need to be trying to receive. You just out here neglecting it.
Yeah.
I've definitely
and
been
really,
in that
it wasn't, he wasn't wrong. My expectation was wrong.
Absolutely.
I formed that idea of how it was going to happen in my head.
Yeah.
And try to hold him accountable to it.
Right.
Versus just saying, you know what? Not my will, your will be done. Whatever happens, happen.
Who is an artist that when you need to get put in that mindset, like you just not feeling it, you need to turn that hustle up, you need to refocus.
Yeah.
Who's an artist? Who's an artist that can get you in that right frame of mind and get after what you need to be getting after?
Future.
Future?
Future.
What is about Future?
Is the energy. I just know a story like I like his early records because he was hungry. He was different, right? But then he blew up, moved to LA, but he wasn't happy. So he left all of that. Well, he was with Sierra, right? LA, Sierra, made it to like what you think the pinnacle was of success. Similar to what I did. You look around your life, it's beautiful, but you don't even recognize it. You don't even recognize who the hell you are.
Well,
he left all of that, came back to the A, and dropped mixtapes for free. Got back in the spirit and the position that he felt he needed to be within himself, being his authentic self, and he went hard. Dropped a Monster mixtape, but he dropped 56 Nights, Beast Mode, just really getting back to himself. And the energy behind the beats and that music to me, that represents like starting over from the ground up. And I just like the energy behind those old mixtapes too. They'll get you right.
Well,
Beast Mode,
I can
Monster.
respect the Future with the energy aspect, but for me, I'm more like I need to hear them words.
Oh yeah, you talking
Words
about
need
bars.
The words need to hit home, and it's two for sure. You know, I love Tupac,
Yeah,
but for me, it's always Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
I can always put on some Nipsey Hussle and get inspired.
absolutely.
But here recently though, it's a good brother out of California. I'm not sure what city, but Larry June.
Man, I'm on Larry June.
Larry June always dropping some
Good job,
jewels.
Larry.
Good job.
Good job, Larry.
It's just, I love the fact that it's so cool, so player about it, but
he
he
got the
talking
beats.
about some.
Yeah.
I love
He
when
talking about doing bourbons and sipping tea.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When rappers talk about things that I can actually relate to,
Yeah.
you know, you know,
Hey.
hey.
Yeah, I like
They
Larry
talk
June.
about drinking green smoothies,
yeah.
you know, taking walks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Getting his
Riding
paper.
his bike. Yeah.
You know, he's talking about things that you actually need to be listening to. That's type of energy. That's the type of energy I'm on.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, see a brother having massive success, doing what he love, and that's, you know, you could tell that's like part of who he really is.
He low-key kind of remind me of a Nipsey.
Yeah.
Just in a different way.
Yeah, different lane.
Yeah.
But I love, you know, to hear that music that kind of feeds my spirit, you know, the words hit home for me. So those two brothers I can always put on like a Nipsey Hussle playlist, Larry June, any one of his projects and get something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Those are more like your vibes too, relaxed, insightful. But my flow will be some TDJs, get some Future. Because, man, he on that. We're going to go and get it against all odds. Yeah. You know what I mean? Fuck your permission. I'm going to get to them digits. You feel what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm going to go get, I don't need your permission. I'm coming for everything that I want because I want it and I deserve it. Who going to stop me? I believe in me. I'm coming to get it. And I'm going to work hard every day to get better. And then after I go crush my goals because I'm tired as hell on my way home, I'm going to throw on some Larry June. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mellow myself out.
You gotta have balance.
Yeah.
You gotta have balance.
They say life is 1090. 10% of what happens, and 90% of how you respond. Yo, I'm trying to elevate, so I'ma take the ups with the downs. Pound for pound, the greatest God gave me the crown.